Hello everybody, today we're going to be taking a look at this Regent 70 watt high pressure sodium area light. Now this is much smaller than your standard area light you're used to seeing, like a 175 watt mercury vapor bucket consumer grade area light. This thing is incredibly small compared to that. Now Regent had two versions of these when they first came out. There was the 70 watt high pressure sodium version, and a 100 watt mercury vapor version. There was also another version of one of these that had a different reflector refractor assembly on it, more standard to a pretty consumer grade 175 watt mercury vapor area light, where instead of having just this refractor assembly, it had both the reflector and refractor assembly. So it was a little bigger, and that was their 125 watt mercury vapor version. Now I do have a video of one of those on the channel. I got used. It's a couple years ago now, but it's on there somewhere. Now that used the exact same ballast and bulb as the 100 watt version of one of these, so I'm not sure where they got 125 other than the bulb said both wattages on it. Maybe it did have a different ballast in it, but I kind of want to say it didn't. I'd have to watch that video again. Either way, today in front of us we have the 70 watt high pressure sodium version. Picked this up at the Restore for 50% off, so it was about, I want to say altogether like $12 or $13 or so. Not too bad. Everything is in here except for the bulb, but that's no big deal. I have plenty of them. So I really like looking at the old packaging here. I love the picture, the light, I love the background, gradient colors. Really the whole thing about it I really like. You know, example photos. A lot of, manufacturers don't do that anymore. So as you can see in the picture here, they have a white one. This is the black version. I have two white mercury vapor versions in the collection, both of them used. This is the first new version of one of these that I have come across. So of course, here's the front of the package. On the side here, we can see all about this fixture. The funny thing is, you see the kids riding around on these little like go-kart things. I actually had one of those when I was younger. I forget what the name of the cart was, but yes, I had one of those, and that's super funny. The kid has this like horn on it. I had that same horn on it. Oh, that is too funny. That is the exact same thing. My parents might still have it. I'm not sure whatever happened to it, but that is too funny. And of course you can see the fixture there on the side of the garage. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Of course, it looks like they're about to hit each other, so maybe they don't really like each other that much. I mean, just look at her face. She's a little done with today. Anyway, moving back to the fixture here, we have some example photos of it, basic putting it together. We can see how it compares to 120 watt PAR 38 bulbs, mercury vapor of 175 watt, and 70 watt high pressure sodium naturally. And of course, we've got to have the other languages on the box here. And if we go all the way around, we'll find some key features of this fixture. One of the key features here is that the children are now missing. So they must have gotten into trouble, and now they are gone. So very good. Wonder what kind of license plate that is. I can't really see it too good, or make, model, vehicle. Kind of gives you age and stuff, This says 1998 Regent Lighting Corporation. Made in USA. Hey, that's cool. So, of course, we have a photocell on the back here. They say corrosion resistant until the paint is gone, and then that's no longer real. 70 watt high pressure sodium, high impact lens until you accidentally hit it and then it cracks. And a sturdy mounting arm. The neat thing with these is that they came with an adapter that you could put on here and use it on a standard outdoor box, a threaded box. That was pretty cool. So, let's take a quick glance at the bottom here without hopefully everything falling out. No returns, it says. Great. Okay, so we have a mounting template here on the top. I do like when they include that. And ship to. Well, I never really used that. Probably came in a carton with a bunch of them. Now, this has already been taken apart. I think someone obviously took the bulb out. I think the fixture is also used for a little bit, maybe for a project or something. But everything is here except for the bulb. So here we have our reflector refractor assembly, and it's, well, quite dirty. Let me get a standard A19 bulb here so you have a little bit of an idea on the size of this thing. It is incredibly small. Yeah, it is not big at all. You know what? We got a tape measure here too. Why don't we just measure it? Yeah, so from outside to outside is about 7.5 inches or so. If we do inside, we get about 6 3/4. And the bottom here is 5 1/2, and inside is 5. So that's the diameter of the refractor there. Very neat. Nice to see one that is not broken yet. Set that over here for now. And of course we have the light itself. So it has these cardboard pieces. Again, I'm not sure how they are originally in here, but let's take them out if it will let us anyway. Hello. There we go. So here's the ballast head itself. Definitely been sitting somewhere for a while. This one does say Regent on the top. I want to say one of the versions that I have in the Mercury Vapor does not say Regent. I could be wrong, but I think it's missing that. Our button photocell here, it's an older version. Inside, we can see it was made, what was that, February 17th of 2000. Definitely got some spider poop and stuff on it here. Regent lighting. S62 lamp. Kind of Pacific Science, Fisher Pierce division. Yep, night lighter it says for the photocell here, assembled in Mexico. Let's set that aside for right now. Looking in the bottom here, we have our mounting hardware. There's that really cool adapter. And we have a whole bunch of other garbage. This looks like one of the connectors that probably either came with or someone used, but I don't know, looks like we got some, boy, that's big, probably rat poop and stuff, I don't know. Just gonna put that all back in there. Let's take a quick look at our instructions here since we have it. Now, this makes the refractor look bigger than it actually is, which also brings to mind that they made a later version of this fixture as well. It was a 42-watt fluorescent version. I had a white version of it, sold it on eBay many years ago. It had a slightly bigger or longer refractor, I should say. It was about this much longer. It kind of looked kind of funny. I wasn't too fond of it, so that's why I ended up selling it. But it's neat to find one of these. I like the miniature version of this. So let's see what we got here. Since we have our instructions, obviously the staples have become very rusty. So there you go. You can see the versions at the top there, both black and white for 70-watt high pressure sodium and 100-watt mercury vapor. And installation instructions here if you so need it. Installing the bulb, the hardest part. Okay. And that's the end of our English reading here. Okay, that's cool. We'll definitely keep that. Let me clean up these box parts here, and we'll move along. Let's take a look at our bag of goodies here with all of our extra garbage that was in the box. Definitely in someone's barn or garage for quite a while. Let's see what we got here. It was nice that all this was in here. I was a little concerned that it might not have been. Don't need that anymore. Nothing left in there. Okay, so here's our really cool mounting bracket. This is made out of aluminum. It's incredibly light. And I always got to look and see if they got these threads lined up from the molding, because I have found a version of one of these where they did not line it up and it was 100% useless. So this one looks like it's lined up pretty nicely. We should have a good time putting this on a box. We have our cover here for our electrical connections. Mounting bolts if we were to use the 3-point mounting on here. We also have some nuts and bolts here, and what these are for is using this bracket. So you can bolt the light to this bracket. Very cool. I've used these brackets to hold up 175-watt mercury vapor fixtures as well. They're super handy. I wish you could buy just this. It's really nice. Of course, our little washer nut here so that you can adjust it onto the box and then tighten it. And I believe these two screws here are to hold on this bottom cover. And this is probably our ground screw or something like that. Well, nope, there's our ground screw. So this one is actually for keeping the refractor on the fixture without it falling off or coming unturned. So we definitely have a little bit of cleanup here to do because this thing is a little bit dirty. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. We'll get all this dirt and grime off of here, clean it up, and then we'll take a look at what's underneath. Got the fixture cleaned up the best we can here. Definitely not as dusty as before, so real happy with that. One thing I forgot to mention when we were going through the little goodie bag here is this little item. This is a kind of reflector, as you could say, or a light blocker for the photocell. You would put this on here underneath its little holder, and then you can direct it depending on where north is or wherever you'd like the light to be coming from the sun, to tell it when to turn on and off. So that's what this thing is. But anyway, let's go ahead and take this cover off and see what's underneath. Okay, so this cover here should come right off, and we'll find our ballast inside. Pretty simple. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. So we have our igniter, our ballast, and this is the exact same setup as the 100 watt version would be. It's literally just a metal bar that goes across and sandwiches the ballast in place. Of course, the mercury vapor one is much bigger than this 70 watt high pressure sodium one. So it's probably some type of caster ballast. I don't really see anything that says a name on a sticker on the side here, so we're just gonna have to go by this sticker that we have here, and I think it's just some generic thing. We'll have to take these screws off to find out. Okay, with those screws off, we can take our little piece of metal here, and we'll be able to, well, I think they have some type of heat sink compound on there, some type of glue that holds it on there, unless it's just the you know, when they dipped it, and that's just what's left. I'm trying to see if I can see any manufacturer. I really don't see anything at all. It just says ballast, voltage, 120, wattage, 70. I don't see. Now, the ballast was made in December 18th of 1999, as you can see there. So it's older than the fixture itself. And then, okay, this does say Regent Lighting Corporation on the igniter here. It's hard to see, but it's there. I can't really get to that screw without the ballast coming out, so boy, it doesn't want to focus on that at all. But it says Regent Lighting Corporation, high pressure sodium igniter, all that kind of good stuff. A little bit of dirt in here. That's really about it. Of course, we have our pulse rated socket, naturally. So pretty basic. I thought I could get that off of there, but they definitely have that on there with some type of glue or some type of putty, because, I mean, it does have these fins here to help distribute the heat, and obviously that thing's in there. So we'll go ahead and put this bracket back on here how we found it, and start wiring this thing up. There we go. Now, we just need to get our electrical box to install this on, because I do want to put this together so I can show you what that looks like. Of course, that'll be mounted on here, but we'll install that on the box first. We are now back with the correct parts. So I have picked up an electrical box and a cover plate here so we can use our adapter. So let's go ahead and do that. We're gonna put the plate on our electrical box first. So, well, we're gonna do that. We're going to need some type of cord restraint here. Now, this isn't an outdoor weather rated one, but it'll definitely work for what we want. And I don't really like it there because it doesn't turn the right way. I'd rather have this side up so that if it is temporarily used outside and it does rain, at least it will not get inside as easily. There we go, that's perfect. So if this is up and then rain comes down, it has a solid place instead of this side, which, you know, has a hole in it there. So that'll work. Now we'll just put in the rest of our covers. We got our mounting screws here. Both the box and plate came with them. Of course, we only need 2, so we'll just save the other 2 for some other project. Now, we can put our plate on here. And let's just put that on all the way and see what we end up getting. Where does this stop once it is tightened all the way? Because we're going to want these holes either on the top or side. Okay, well that doesn't really do it. Of course we can tighten that, this thing behind it here, and that will set it the way we want it. But I want to see if there's a way to do it without having to mess with that. We could do it something like that. And then maybe if we put this on the inside instead, it's not intended to be on in here. But maybe we can do something or another and that'll hold it in place. Okay, so we got that pretty good, I'd say. It's not, I don't know, looks like it needs to go back this way just a little bit. Okay, so we got that lined up. And we got this tightened on the inside. That'll hopefully hold it. Of course, you can always make it stay even better if we put another one on. Just use two, but that doesn't want to turn too well, so forget it. Okay, so we got this set up, and now we need to put it on our light here. We have our hardware they provided us with. They did not provide us with any lock washers, which would have been nice. Let me see if I have any. I do, but they're not the right size, so they won't work. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue on. I guess we can start with just getting these at the bottom here into place, because we'll need at least two of them on there to start. And it'd be much nicer to look at a head of a screw than the nut. So we'll get these started in this fashion. Now, interestingly, I just noticed this. Oh no, that's just not on all the way. I thought this one was longer. No, they're all the same. So let's get this started. There we go. We have the bottom two started. So let's go ahead and get those on here. Like so. And then of course we'll flip it over. And we'll need to install the one at the top. And we could probably just let it sit there like that while we get this done here. Okay, we got two washers here, and that should give us enough spacing. Yeah, so that we can get our nut on the back here, but it doesn't hit our plate. So, oh, we got to find a way to hold that in there. Isn't that something? Okay, we might be getting somewhere. Indeed, we are getting somewhere. There we go. So, we have our nut on the top here, and bolt, and then our two on the bottom. And that's how it'll hold our light to the bracket. Again, you can use this on a standard area light. It's all the same triangle mount system. So now, we just need to tighten it up. It's way easier to just use the wrench to tighten these, then you're not stripping out the top of the screw. There we go. That looks really nice. So we have our two wires here. We have our neutral and our positive, and obviously they want those to go through. Now I see no reason to have this extra little wire here from the photocell, because we're just gonna wire something to it anyway. But I can understand, you know, from a consumer standpoint, at least there's just the two wires and it makes it easier. But we're gonna feed this through the hole here. There we go. Into our electrical box. Now this one's kind of nice because it does combine all of our neutrals into one. So we'll give it a little bit of a loop there. And then we'll also move this on through. So that's everything in this compartment. So we need to put our cover on. Now we need to knock out this knockout here because we used the back entry point. If we were to mount this and not use a electrical box, we can just use the bottom one here and put a cord or strain on it. That would work absolutely fine. Now, yes, there is a ground screw that should go in here. We also have it on the rest of the fixture, so I'm just going to put the screw in here because they gave it to us, but we won't necessarily use it, I don't think. There we go, at least it is in place. So we have our little cover that will just slide on over all of our connections. Now we have our two smaller screws here, they go on either side. Oh, we got our access plate installed, so the fixture itself is all ready to go. Now we just need to wire it up to our electrical box here. And naturally, we got to get our gasket prepared, and we need a cord. We got a cord. Let's go ahead and undo it here. Looks like we'll need to redo these connections. That's not too bad. So we'll need to remove this outer insulation, and then we'll be ready to do that. Some of the fluff they put in these cords to make them round really just gets everywhere. Got the cord cleaned up. Now we just need to strip our new wires. There we go. Let's get this fed into our box here. Always got to remember to put your gasket on before you start wiring things up. Trust me, it's from experience. Okay, let me just bring our cord up here because it keeps wanting to lay on the floor and pull everything down that we're working on. And, well, we got bottles falling over. But anyway, let's go ahead and get our connections wired up. Got our wire nuts here. Of course, this is easy enough as it's all color-coded for us. Give it a little tug, make sure it's good. Okay, last but not least, of course, we have our ground. Now, we can put it inside the box here or on the plate. They're all screwed together. Let's just put it on here. It seems to want to sit here anyway. There we go. We got our ground wire connected and our other main connections. So, last but not least, we need to put our box onto, well, here. So, that's the fun part. It's getting everything to go into the box. Now that we have one started, we can get this gasket to play nice with us, because we have that ground wire there, so it doesn't want to play nice with us. Okay, we'll take a look, make sure this gasket looks even all the way around, and it does. So we'll go ahead and tighten up these screws. There we go. There's our fixture on its electrical box. Of course, we have the wire coming out. We need to remember to tighten our cord restraint here so it does its job. Last but not least, we have our refractor assembly here to install on the fixture. There's not a front or back, but we do have three kind of lobes here and three open areas on the refractor. So if we just set that in there and give it a twist, it'll stay on, but it doesn't really get locked into place. That is what this little tiny screw is for. So if we take a look here on the top, there's a little tiny hole, and that just goes in here. And once it's screwed in all the way, it'll prevent the refractor from coming totally loosened. So I'll just do it all by hand here. That's good enough. It's just literally a pin, basically, to prevent it from falling out. So that's all it does. There's our fixture, all put together. Doesn't that look nice? I just wanted to include here my mercury vapor version of this fixture, and here it is. It's in pretty rough state. This is the one that I picked up at Menards when they were clearancing off the remaining of this style of fixture back in the day. And I do have the refractor for this fixture still back home. It's a little melted on one side, but it was used constantly on their display. So the bulbs were quite big, and, well, let me show you. Here's one of the original bulbs that this fixture would have came with. As you can see, it's much larger than a standard 100 watt mercury vapor bulb consumer grade would have been. Obviously, these also come in like a A23 shape as well, but if we put this in here, you will see how large it is compared to the fixture itself, and how close it gets. See, this one's at an angle too, just like the one that I had. How close it gets to that refractor over here. That's about like 1 1/8 or something. And obviously this would start to yellow and melt, and that's what happened to this one. Like I said, I still have it. I just decided to put this metal thing on it because, well, it holds up better when it's in transportation. So that's what this would look like with a mercury vapor bulb. As you can see, it kind of sticks out the bottom. Really funny. Let's take that back out. And this one here, we'll put this bulb in, get an idea what that looked like. This refractor actually came off of an Electropack 175 watt mercury vapor fixture. As you can see, I kind of cut it out to make it fit on here. Now this one I also used the bracket, but as you can see, I used it just as a thing to hook it onto the wall. I didn't even get a whole electrical box. I had the wire come out of the bottom here, which is totally fine. It does the same thing. Of course, there's just an opening here now. But the reason that I really like these is you can just screw this to the wall. Temporary use at a party or something, you know, you just put it on the wall and you're done, and that's perfect. Here, same thing. I guess I didn't really need the box, could have just used the plate as it was, but that's what I did here. Let's see if there's a date on this one. This one is August of 2001. And see, this one doesn't have a sticker on the side. This one says Regent, and I don't think this one does. No, this is blank. There's nothing there. Does say HID fixture on the side, though. Yeah, this one says 2000, so that one's older than this one. Either way, there's a white version of the fixture, and it's black version. Before we get a bulb, we have this little adapter we can put onto the photocell here. If we just loosen it up, that just slides underneath like so, and you can position it wherever, you know, you want the light to come from. If you want to, you know, block more sunlight to make it turn on sooner, or, you know, have more sunlight reflect off of it, something like that. That's what that is for. Now, of course, we need a bulb. We got our bulb here, so let's go ahead and take a quick look at it. It's one of these Superior Life bulbs that I got about a bazillion of at the Restore a while back. So, perfect application to use one of the zillions. We have high pressure sodium, LU70, CL for clear, I'm assuming. 70 watt, Superior Life. Not much other information on there. Really interesting construction on how they have the arc tube supported here at the top. It's kind of like a stamped piece of metal that's bent, and they kind of put the arc tube in. Very interesting. I'm not sure what in the world this is for. They tried to weld on a piece of metal and then cut it off. Maybe it's in the manufacturing process just to temporarily hold it. I'm not entirely sure. And of course, we have the getter here at the bottom. So that is our bulb, since our original one is missing. I'm sure the original one would have been clear as well. Got the fixture all mounted up in its new home here in the garage. So let's go ahead and turn off the lights and turn it on. Okay, with all of our lights finally turned off and the photocell covered up, let's turn it on here in 3, 2, 1. Well, that was a little before 1. Anyway, let's see, we're currently at 118.2 volts, 2.25 amps, 50.1 watts, and a power factor of 0.18. Interesting. I think I bumped the switch, that's why it did that. This power strip I am using here is not exactly the highest quality thing today. Okay, I was not prepared very well, but let's get a reading here before it gets to full brightness. The spectrum of the fixture and the CRI of the fixture. And now we will let it warm up. Okay, so it looks like we're leveled off here on the lux meter. So we'll take a look at that in a second and how well it's lighting everything up. But let's first read off the readings on the kilowatt meter. We're currently at 118.2 volts, 1.58 amps, 81.8 watts, and a power factor of power factor of 0.43. Of course, we have some light coming in through the window behind me here, but this is definitely overpowering the light that is, and it's providing a really nice high pressure sodium hue here everywhere. So let's take a look at our meter on the ground here. We're currently at 83.5 lux is where we paused the last clip, so it's still hovering around there. And of course, well, as we saw, it's lighting everything up pretty nicely. And its little home up here. With all of its friends. There's a lot of 70 watt high pressure sodium going on around here. That's 70 watt. That's 70 watt, that's 70 watt, that's 70 watt, that's 70 watt, that's 70 watt. There's a lot of 70 watt high pressure sodium going on. Love the look of the bulb in the refractor assembly at the different angles here. So before we do cool down, we of course need to get our last measurement here. And I'm going to stand on this side of the window so we can have the window on the back side of the meter. So hopefully we get a little bit more accurate stuff going on here. So this is going through the refractor. Here we go. And we'll save that. The spectrum of the fixture. And the CRI of the fixture. And out of curiosity, let's do it without the refractor. Just go right in here. And we'll save that. The spectrum of the fixture. And the CRI of the fixture. Time for cool down. Gotta love that glow. As always, I do hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, be sure to give it a like down below and leave a comment. I do enjoy reading all of your comments. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more great videos like this one. Also check out my secondary channel Merkove and subscribe over there for more behind the scenes and alternative content. Of course, check out the other videos here on this screen, and as always, thank you very much for watching.